All right, for this last section, let's have some fun with some of the AI generative tools. We'll go up to File and down to Open and locate the Bench JPEG. We'll say Open. The first thing we want to do is to go to View and let's fit this to the area. This way we can see the entire screen. We want to be able to remove this woman on the right-hand side. In order to do this, let's use some of the AI generative tools. If you go over to your tools, locate the Remove tool that may be hiding underneath your spot healing brush or the patch tool that we used before. Now this tool is an AI generative tool, so you may be greeted with a warning dialog box asking you to commit to it, but that's okay. Once you're ready, go up to the options and make sure the size is set to 50. We're going to use Auto, may use generative AI. Do make sure it's sampling all the layers and uncheck Remove after each brushstroke. This way we can clean up any brushstrokes once we're finished. From here, you can go through and you can paint on the entire area that covers just the lady. It's okay to go outside of the stroke or outside of her area just enough because we want to be able to get all of this area selected. So take your time, make sure to fill it in. Once you've got her entire area selected, you can click on the checkbox at the top. It may take just a moment to remove the area, but once it's finished, it's going to try to fill it in with what it thinks is the most appropriate thing. Notice in this case, it filled it in with looks like some little leaves that are blowing in the wind. Now, when we do this, remember we're destroying the original pixels, which may not necessarily be what we want to do. So let's undo what we just did. Edit, Undo, Remove tool. This time, let's go down to our Layers panel, and let's create a new layer on top of it. As we did before, let's use our Remove tool. Make sure Sample All Layers is turned on and Remove Strokes After is unchecked. And one more time, let's select her entire area. This time, when you commit to the transformation, again, it'll take just a second to render the area. It'll fill in the entire area, and it will do it just to layer 1. Notice again, it feels like the bird or maybe a leaf will fill in for yours. Yours may be slightly different. The advantage is all of this now takes place on layer 1, which you can turn on and off to see a before and after of how it looks. We haven't destroyed the original image. With this done, let's go ahead and save this as a Photoshop document. This time we're going to call it Bench Clean. Make sure Photoshop is set to your format and click Save and OK. Let's add our banner design to it now. Go to File and Place Embedded. Again, choose your banner TIFF and say Place. We can scale it down to be about 55% or so till it fits nicely in here. Then we can hold down the Command key to let it line up with each of the different points along the bottom edge of our little sitting area. That looks good from there. We'll hit the checkbox to lock in that transformation. With this done, let's flatten our image. We can go up to the Layer drop-down menu and choose Flatten Image. Notice now in our Layers panel, we've lost all of our layers and it's flattened down to one solid layer. Now let's use AI to see if we can replace our sky. With our background layer selected, let's go up to Edit, down to Replace Sky. You can see this is going to open up a new dialog box and make sure the preview is checked on so you can see the changes made. There's a variety of different skies you can choose from. Once we open it up, you can scroll through and see all of them. Make sure the blue sky is opened, and let's choose this second one that looks like this. We can then close it out. If necessary, we can adjust the size of the sky by bringing the scale of it up to be about 150%. Let's go from there. Finally, the output, let's make sure to output this to a new layer and say OK. In our Layers panel, you can see now it's going to replace the sky and add a variety of different skies and filters that automatically place it inside of that area. Let's pull up our layers panel now so we can see everything. I'm going to expand this out a bit. We can close out our sky replacement panel, and let's select nothing by clicking on this open area down here at the bottom. Finally, let's choose our crop tool, and I'm going to zoom out by pressing the command and the minus sign a couple of times. This way I can see the entire area beyond just my image. We want to be able to expand out this image and to automatically generate and fill in what it thinks should be the rest of the picture. Here's how we're going to do it. With the crop tool selected, change your fill to generative expand. Then make sure your ratio is set to ratio with no numbers inside of this area. You can clear them away if necessary. Click on the bottom right-hand corner and drag it out until that last 2/3 area is filled in from here. Then you can click the return key. This will ask you, what do you want to expand into it? We're going to keep it completely blank for now and click generate. This may take just a moment, but it's going to look at our image and fill in what it thinks is necessary for this bottom portion to have ground and the top portion to have sky. Pretty good. Notice in our layers panel, we've got a generative expand layer that's selected. And in our properties panel, we've got 3 different options we can click and choose from that we think should be best. I kind of like this middle one. Yours is going to have some different looking options, but it'll give you something very similar to what we have here. Now this does a pretty good job, but I think we can do better in filling it in this area. Let's grab our regular lasso tool and we'll move this out of the way. Select this bottom portion just by clicking and dragging that lower 1/3 area. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just kind of want to click and drag around that bottom portion. We need to turn on our contextual taskbar. So if you don't see it, you can go up to Window and make sure contextual taskbar is checked on. This will add a little bar here. We want a generative fill inside of this area. So I'm going to click on generative fill, and you can type in whatever you want inside of here. I'm going to do lake front shore. Once you're done, you click generate. Give it a second to think about it. And once again, in our properties panel, we've got a variety of different options that we can choose from that does a pretty good job from here. Now, as you click on each of these 3 options, you can still type in your prompt to prompt even more. Let's add with water and sand and click generate to generate 3 more options. And now I've got 3 more options that I can pick and choose from too. Again, your options are going to look slightly different from mine based on what you've picked before we started on this. Let's do one more and select this open area up top here. Let's generate a flock of seagulls. And click generate. Again, click through the ones you think are best. I like this one. Now that we've got our option created, let's save this up one last time as a Photoshop document. File, Save As. We're going to call this Bench AI and click Save. The only thing you need to turn in for this unit is the Bench AI Photoshop document, the Balloon Photoshop, Office, Studio, and Tanks. So there should be 5 different Photoshop files that you'll upload to the class Canvas page.